Whoa, hello there once again, friends and fans. Raptor here. Welcome back to Space Engineers. I have two assault craft to show you today, and we're also going to fly the Beast around a little bit. We have a fighter here, and we also have a large landing craft, assault craft. Let's go over the larger one first. Here we have the AC-48 Sperven, also known in Danish as the Sparrow. As you can see, it has multiple forward-firing rockets. You have two on either side the back, and then two mounted just in the front cockpit here. Of course, we have the Gatling cannon in the front. We have multiple lights as well for good targeting on close targets. Imagine this thing just popping up behind you as you're running through a star base or something like that, and this comes up behind you. It's kind of modeled after a Hind. It looks a little bit like the Liberator from PlanetSide 2, and of course is pretty much my complete design. I've taken a few looks at what the community has been building, so I've looked at a few of those things as well. And I guess there's some quotes in this game that say no idea for engineering is original. You're just taking good ideas and putting them together, and that's what this community is all about. So if you want to play on this level, there's a kind of a way to do that. I'll show you another time, but anyway, if you find the workshop at the main menu of this game, there's a way where you can subscribe and download this ship, the bigger ship, and that little fighter over there. But first, let's give this a try. We'll give it a fly around. There's some engines, pretty much an equal number in all directions. Here you have the main engine in the back. You have side thrusters on the both left and right side. I don't know, port and starboard. I don't even know. I should start figuring that out. That would be helpful. But then again, some people might get confused. There's thrusters underneath totaling 6. And you see those little legs there with the green circle around them? That means that it's magnetized. Ships now can magnetize and latch to other ships, and so that really helps to build carriers. So if we moved this larger ship that they're contained in, they would all move together. We have some forward lights on the legs as well, and of course we've got real cool interior to it as well that you can't see. There's some engines that both fire up and also to slow it down in reverse. One large forward engine and the rest are all small engines. Inside here, just behind these engines, is where the reactors and the gyros and everything else for the basically the main controls and power units of the ship lie, as well as a little radar unit on top. So without further ado, let's give it a little spin and let's see what we got here. So of course this ship would be used to land troops and fire rockets. I'm going to go into press V here just to look behind our ship. There we go. And you can see the locks are going to be disengaged if we press P. But first I just want to show you these lights powering up. Look at the detail in that game. They power up slowly. Look at that. That's just absolutely beautiful. What a good touch to this game. So if we press P, that disengages the lock, and they're yellow now, which means that we can lock them by pressing P again if we need to, but we don't need to. So let's go ahead and fly out of here. I'm going to go ahead and raise myself up and fly over our fighter here, being cautious not to hit the top, and we should be clear right about there. Perfect. And it's not easy getting in and out of here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over and I'm going to show you now. The mass of this ship is 121,904 kilograms. So basically 923,000 kilograms. And you can see she's speeding up slow. It's not supposed to be a speedy craft, and the power usage is 18% at this moment. Power usage is important because if we make large turns like this, it does take a lot more power to make these kinds of turns. And if you don't have the sufficient power, it's going to take a lot longer to make these kinds of turns. And you want to make these kind of long turns like this, so that way you can come back around. As you can see, if we would have kind of stopped and turned immediately, it would have been a little bit too much. So you can have kind of an oversensitive gyroscope system if you come way too close to your kind of turning radius, which is overshooting it. You're kind of overpowering your turning radius. But anyway, as you can see, we could run a little rocket attack run under this ship, and then just kind of fly by, and we can come up behind the Beast, and we'll kind of take a look at that again as we fly our own ship this time rather than one of those blue boys. So as you can see, I kind of made a sharper turn here, and we're kind of a duck in the water here, and fish in a barrel, I guess would be a better way to say that. So yeah, you can see all the engines there firing. And we've still not stopped yet. So making those kinds of turns, you want to kind of travel like you're in an airplane. These things don't stop on a dime, they don't turn in a dime, and especially not the AC-48 Sperven, I don't know how you say it. You Danes know better than I do. Power usage is probably not going to max out any higher than 70-something%, and we got a lot of weight to travel around in here. So if you want to fly this again, check for that workshop. We'll move up the side of our ship here. You can see our reflector lights are even lighting it up. and we'll stop right about here, and we'll go pick up our fighter, and we'll fly that around a little bit. Now, the cool thing is when we finally get missiles, we can, oh, look at that. If we could fire at that base, that would be absolutely amazing. We could blow things up, we could bend steel, we could blast it all apart. That would be awesome. Now, the cool thing is, too, you see that radar on the top of the green building? That's the exact kind of radar we build on the smaller ship, just the model size changes, and so does the size of it, but it's basically the kind of the same thing. But anyway, you'll see if you want to build your own ships. Holy crap. Whoa. Alright, you know, I'm actually happy we bumped into that, because a little bit of damage on this main ship. Let's go ahead and see that. So no damage to our large ship, and here on our small ship, look at that. Big damage to the front of it, a big dent in it, but we'll go ahead and hit it with something else a little bit later and see exactly how that turns out. So I'm going to crash these two, by the way, so we're off to a good start. Alright, let's go ahead and hop in the cockpit of this. Another interesting thing to point out, actually we should take a tour around it first. What could this be? Well, this is the FAQ 74 Vepsen, or wasp in Danish. This is, and it does even look like a wasp, doesn't it? Look at all those stripes. Super cool. A lot of engines on it. Don't be confused by this other ship here. But basically you've got front-firing rocket launcher, 2 forward-firing Gatling cannons, a lot of lights on the front, just 2 of them. There's also 2 forward-firing engines which help to reverse it. There's engines on either side, top and bottom, and also there's a group of 3 engines on each quote-unquote wing, and then of course 4 more closer to the body, giving you a total of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 engines. That's right, 3 plus 3 is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, and then also there's 2 at the bottom, so yeah. Now, a lot of the important components of this ship, just like the other one, are contained just under the engines. You got your reactors and your gyros, which really help this to turn and hopefully provide enough power for the main weapon system. So let's jump in and let's get started. Let's go ahead and disengage our latches here. Let's take a look at it as she flies out. Now, I believe the max speed for these is 104. Actually, you know what's funny is if we latch to this main ship, we can move it. It's moving at 0.1 meters a second, but as you can see, the Gold Beast isn't even moving at all. So anyway, let's go ahead and disengage. Let's fly off. She's really fast. So she weighs 17,285 kilograms. She has a 70% power usage, and we're already moving at boom 70 right there. And thrusters 18, dampeners, everything else you can control. You can turn off dampeners, which are really cool, because if you do that, I believe it's X, we can now cruise. This is our cruise speed now. We're moving at 97.2 meters a second. So we're not going to go any faster than this. This is our cruising speed. But and we can even turn the engines off and everything and just dangle in space. If we were to hit something, we'd go flying. But let's hop into the cockpit of this and do some bad maneuvers, baby. Let's go ahead and turn our inertia dampeners on. So you can see there the power usage jumps up. And that's very important because, again, we're at 101%, which is okay because we're not losing too much in our turning power or our control of the ship. And she's bumping around a little bit, but that's just fine. And as you can see, there's a top deflector on this ship to kind of give it some added protection. So we're going to head back then to our main ship, wherever that happens to be. Got to look around for it a little bit. I thought we were executing our turn good, but I guess not. So we're going to slow down here. Oh, we're already heading at the correct speed and the angle, so we're good. So you can see we have 24 gigawatts of reactor power and thruster 18. If we lose any of those from enemy activity, I wonder if, look at those guns, how they tilt a little bit. I wonder if that's just part of the vision, or if eventually there'll be some targeting system. But anyway, we're coming up on that frame of that old ship, so let's do some cool maneuvers around that. We'll jump down to old red here, and then we'll zoom back up, and we'll go right under her, or through her. Alright, but good. We caused some damage there, so you can see I was going to zoom under it and come back and hit it, but we actually turned this ship completely around. Look at this. We'll fly right through it. That's going to be cool. Awesome. Whoa, Raptor, you're crazy. Alright, so, but yeah, anyway, that ship flew off into space, so we'll probably never see that again. But the cool thing is weight does matter in the design of these ships. And the lighter they are, as you could see, there were certain armor portions on that ship which were designed to protect the engines. And although it doesn't have as many as for instance, the Spurven has, the Spurven definitely has enough to try to deny enemy damage to the engines. Now, of course, I don't know what this game will entail. I'm not exactly sure how that's all going to go down, but you can see here with that little bit of damage that if that was a missile or something that did it, our Gatling cannon would be slightly protected. Same with our rocket launchers. The one on the rear, they're not so important, but you know, the wing could be sliced off there. That supports that. There's protection on our reverse engines, and not so much on our rear engine. But you probably wouldn't expect anybody to get behind you. These are supposed to travel kind of in groups. So anyway, that's one ship destroyed. I suppose we could crash into the Gult Beast here, just right in the mouth, and see exactly what happens. We'll spin around, and then we'll load her up again, and we'll take the Gult Beast a little bit on a self-destruction tour. So we could hit this large red ship, but I don't want to do that. I think we'll get moving up to about 50 kilometers per hour, or meters per second, and yeah. It's really cool to see this one fly. I really wish we could fire the missiles at it. I don't know if the missiles replenish depending on your power resources. I don't know if you have to manually load them. That's all to be determined. I'm sure there's tons of information in the forums, but I've been so busy just building and playing with other people's stuff. It's just great. Seriously, people will take all day, build the USS Enterprise, upload it, and then it's yours to try out, which is fantastic because that's what made Minecraft great, and that's what makes this game great. So right now we're moving at 15 meters per second. Hopefully we get up to, let's say about maybe 35 before we go to hit the Gult Beast, and that should be good enough to cause a nice damaging pierce to the hull. It's basically like a giant fish that's about to swallow a sparrow. So here we go. Let's cause some damage here. See what happens. All right. Oh, we kind of missed the back of it. But as you can see, all of that armor, like we can just kind of rotate around a little bit and try to cause damage. These smaller ships don't mean much to a ship like the Gult Beast. It's causing some damage, some dents. We're really causing a tantrum in here, but all we're doing is ripping off our own stuff. So weapons are going to be really important. As you can see, oh, look at that. All we did was we dented the base, and that was it. So I have actually experimented with this a few times. I pierced through either side of the hull, and that's it. It stops it pretty much dead. And there it looks, is there damage up there in that viewing port maybe? I don't know. But anyway, that's that. And look at that. All we did was just caused a minor dents to a major ship. And that was a pretty good hit. I mean, it could have been a lot better, but these ships aren't so easy to fly. So let's go ahead and exit to the main menu, and I'm going to go ahead and not save those changes. Again, if I would have accidentally saved, I could have downloaded from the workshop. As you can see, if you click on the workshop, I've already downloaded something called the Achilles, which is very popular at the moment, and of course the Raptoria Quadrant. To do that, all you got to do is click Browse Workshop. You can download anything you like, and then you can open it, copy and load it, anything you want. So let's go ahead and load our world back. We're going to go to the Raptoria Quadrant, and I'll give you a tour of the Achilles again sometimes later. But remember, if you see a bomb technician running, be sure to follow him. That's from the United States Air Force Ammo Troop, rather. Armor, but armor of the sky. Speaking of armor, oh man, you're gonna really need a lot of armor, and it's just, I don't know, this game, depending on how the weapons work, depending on how the game works, depending on what kind of enemies there's going to be, imagine playing this like EVE Online or Star Trek Online. It's just fantastic. So there are our two ships again, our beautiful beauties there, and again there's the Fepson and the Spurvin. So let's go ahead and hop into the control seat of the Gult Beast here. And look at this guy's walk. That's pretty good for a game that's not even finished. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna fly around a little bit. I'm gonna show you how everything latches on, and we're gonna do some more damages and crashes. Yeah, awesome. Really love the interior of this ship. Really love the exterior. I can't believe how this turned out. This ship, even my smaller ships, just a lot of pride in experimenting and being satisfied with it, at least aesthetically. Doesn't mean it's probably could be the worst ship ever built, but she's beautiful, isn't she? So as you can see, we're going to start off this, by the way, the Gult Beast weighs 2,887,800. Basically, it weighs almost 2,900,000 kilograms, let's just say. Power usage is 0.32 just for the lights. Reaction, oh, look at that, 3,000 gigawatts of power. 44 thrusters on this. Oh man, 45 gyroscopes, all contained in the rear. Of course, if you've seen the previous videos, you know how this was designed. So let's go ahead and line this up for a crash. Those two antennas there, I'm going to try to line up for kind of a dead-on collision here. It's never perfect, of course. In space, no one can hear you screw up, so that's good. But on YouTube, it's a much different story. So I'm going to raise my elevation a little bit so we can get above this tower. I don't want to get caught on the radio antenna that's down there. Well, I believe the maximum speed for these kinds of ships is 70, 74, I believe, and on the smaller ones it's like 100 and something. So I hope we didn't snap that antenna off down there. I'm not sure, but anyway, you can see these two smaller transport ships are contained right inside with no damage to them. They're all going good. If we wobble around a little bit, the front leg of the Spurvin will, as you can see, their engines are firing, so they'll try to move to counteract any type of movement I do. I'm going to keep flying until we get up to about 70, and then I'm going to stop it, and then we're going to fly right back into the green base, and that's it. Because, you know what? Building stuff is great. It takes hours, but crashing stuff takes seconds, and it's hours of fun. We could also fly through some of these asteroids as well. Some of them are shaped like donuts, and I've done that as well with the smaller fighter, our little F.A.Q. So that's pretty cool. We're at 70.1 now, so we're going to come to a full stop. In fact, let's try to turn ourselves around, and I'm going to try to do that carefully. You'll see these ships wobble a little bit, and you may even see the front of them explode a little bit if they lose their landing gear. I'm going to try to do this carefully. If we lose the front of one of the landing gear on the larger ship in the back, then that's okay. No big deal, because it's going to go to hell anyway. So power usage, pretty high there. Just for a turn, we're using like 10% of our power. And we're moving the mouse ever so slowly. And where did we go? Uh-oh. Oh, there we are. We haven't even completed our turn. She's a big girl. Alright, let's keep turning. Try to do it gently. I'm going to try to go to the front here, see if we didn't lose anything. Looks like we didn't. Oh, there it goes. Okay, perfect. Well, that goes to show you that you need to consider everything when building these crafts. Probably something they'll have to work on in the future. I probably should have... You know what? I should have turned those ships off. That's probably part of it. That would have been a smart idea. That would make them fight a little less against our... Oh, wow, we lost the smaller ship there, too. Uh-oh. That's okay. Let's go... let's grab that. Fly her back in. And turn the engines off, and we'll be good. I just want to see... in a previous attempt, it actually, like, evaporated. So, we're going to grab that, and we will let the fun begin. This game's great. I couldn't tell you how happy I am with it, other than that I've just been playing it a lot, and all the comments I read are just, oh, cool, awesome, sweet. So one of the things we can do is we can just simply repair this. Nice thing is, too, is that, you know, if you damage something like that in creative mode, all you gotta do is hit G, and grab yourself a little landing leg, and you're good to go. So that should be it right there. That's it. And we'll go ahead and put this back on. I'm going to turn off both the engines just to let these ships... If and once they... oh, wow, there's a little bit of dent there from it flying off the front of it. But if and when these ships start to fly, it's going to be some good times. So let's go ahead and zoom in to our little parking spot here. Beep, beep. And let's lower ourselves. Get real close onto the edge of it. Oops. That's hard to drive when you're looking at weird angles. We're a little too low. Perfect. Alright, are you ready for a crash? I am. So both of our legs are good. We're pretty much sitting flat on that. So we're good. We'll go ahead and magnetize and turn off our... Oop, that's our engines. We'll turn off our... engines there. Perfect. Everything's off. Alright, she should be a sitting duck now, and so should this other ship. Should sit a little better now with the engines off. So I know I've taken a lot of time. Just be patient. I keep hitting K. Don't want to do that. We... oh, I forgot to hit there. Y. Some of these controls, man, they're hard to remember. Alright, time to get into the cockpit. One thing I'd like to see is some type of easy teleportation for from ship to ship. Maybe that's something that can come in the future. But with this game, and with modding possible, the possibilities are endless here. They really are. Who knows what could happen? Well, I'll tell you what's going to happen in the next couple of seconds. It's going to be a lot of fun. Surprisingly, though, these ships do stop on a dime. Even when we hit our main base up there at full speed, only the front of the ship's going to take a little bit of damage. You'd think the whole thing would rip apart, or, you know, there'd be like a crumple zone denting thing, like a car, but these aren't cars. These are spaceships. So we're going to head to the green base at full speed. That should be it. Spent a lot of time here today, but I was happy to show you guys these new ships. And now it's time to ruin them. I'll show you some fancy maneuvers with these ships and such when weapons become available, but for now, in the future, I'm probably going to build an ore ship. I'm probably going to build, you know, just, you know, boring transports and things just to look cool. Of course, they're not going to be as pretty. They're just going to look square and kind of boring, but these are the coolest fighters I could think of. and then it'll get down to being economical and making some real ships that work and serve our empire. And a lot of the Rat Pack has it already, so we're gonna have a good time with that. And speaking of good times, we're about to have a good one as we hit the green base here. Gonna pull up just a little bit. We should be able to hit it right dead on there. Let's see, good impact. Oh, right in the kisser. Nice. So we went from wow, we barely lost any weight on that one, zooming through the red ship there. And one thing I should have did is probably turned off our engines before hitting. Of course, that adds to it because it stops the inertia dampeners that are supposed to kind of level you out. I've actually had the ship destroyed all the way up to here before, which you'd think is a pretty big accomplishment, but it's not given all of our weight and everything. And I've been inside of ships that are millions, 12 millions of, wow, look at that, 12 million kilograms and stuff, especially the Achilles there. But wow, look at that. Look at that. There's nothing left of it. And the fighter is completely gone. Oh, there it is. I think that might be a part of it. I believe that is a part of it. That might be a wing. Yeah. So there you go, everybody. I'm going to keep working on some spaceships. Suggest some spaceships down below, and check me out on the workshop there, and download my stuff. And please feel free to crash it, take photos, submit it to the Rat Pack on Steam as well, and check us out on Facebook. All those good things. Wow, look at that. That is a bad park job. All right, so until next time, friends and fans, Raptor reminding you to keep the password and pin pan strong, and I'll see you in space. Get your ass to Mars. Bye.